and shine. Coffee's brewing, feeling fine. News is out and on the air. Shizzy Whiz nuts wild, but we don't care. Morning Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz nuts, start the show. Let's go. Spinning in the breeze, stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java with a smile, pants are off but stay a while. Morning Whiz and Coffee, talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz, let's start the show, let's go. Headlines spinning in the breeze, stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java, wear a smile, pants are off but stay a while. Morning Whiz and Coffee, talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz, let's start the show, let's go. Serious is overrated, every day we're caffeinated. Talk the town but in a jest, Morning Whiz is always best. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop.
Oh my god, Shizzy breaks Larry. Shizzy broke Larry.
Good morning, everybody. How are you doing this wonderful morning? Oh my, oh my. How are you? Hey, Momo, how you doing? Good to see you, Debbie Webb. Good morning, Rickles. Good morning, fun sir. Yes. Mary, good to see Mary Ellen. Marilyn Allen. Good to see you this morning, Nancy. Yes. Oh my gosh. Arizona. Good morning to you. And we also got Cynthia that come rolling in. Morning. Western Alabama. Yes. And Mary says, just had a wasp ask for help. Just had rain. He was stuck in water. He couldn't fly. Crawled on my foot. I used a food scoop to put him on a porch rail. Yeah, we've got some yellow jackets that we're trying to get rid of that have attacked our house. Let's put it that way. They're not getting a whole lot of help except to find another place to be. It's in a bad way. Good morning, Nancy, Melly. Good morning. Hello. And of course, we got Joyce. Nice to see you this morning, Joyce. Just this fine man is here to say hi, Debbie Webb and Shizzy. Good to see you, Jay. I hope you're doing well this morning. Oh my gosh. What else do we have here? Well, hey, Raz, how you doing? Brazil's Realm just finished downloading 2 new Christmas selections. Ooh. Now, I don't know how many of you fine folks were here last night, but last night we told you a little story about a man named Charlie that got arrested for kicking down a door. And what was it? I'm trying to think what exactly it was. He kicked down a door, choked this lady, and ran off, and shows up to the police station. Shows up to the police station trying to figure out what in the hell's going on. Well, and people were asking me, well, what happened with this guy? What happened with this guy? What was the outcome? Because, clearly he was getting arrested right there by the popo. And he was just like, well, if I'm being arrested by the popo, like, what did I do? And of course, they were very unclear with them. There was a police officer that was investigating this, if you could call it that. And oh my gosh, what happened? He chased her and choked her out. No, he ran her down and choked her out, and then ran off is what it was. Kicked the door down, choked her, and then ran off. So this, as I said, you guys are asking for the outcome of it, and here it is. It's a ruse, except it wasn't. Paralyzed man cleared from kicking indoor. Police arrested Charles Reed, and after Catherine Jensen accused him of kicking in her door, attacking her, and fleeing on foot. And this may be
now at 7, a Metro Atlanta Police Department now under fire for how it investigated an alleged attack and home invasion.
So what happened?
He kicked in the door. I ran. He choked me out.
An Atlanta News First investigation uncovered evidence that woman may have fabricated her story. Investigative reporter Andy Parati found it led to the arrest of a man who says he is innocent.
536, just confirming you're advising signal 20, front door.
College Park police respond to a home in June 2024.
Oh, thank God.
All right, how you doing?
After Catherine Jensen says her ex-boyfriend attacked her minutes before they arrived.
her ex-boyfriend. That doesn't seem very nice. Oh, it got even worse. It got even worse. May have fabricated. Yeah, you think? Yeah, this is the may have fabricated, exactly. May have fabricated. And she's so convincing.
So what happened?
He kicked in the door. I ran. He choked me out. Tried to get the keys from my hand of my truck.
So he grabbed you by your neck?
Handle him myself. I'm too small.
You say he kicked the door in?
He did.
Charles Reed is the man Catherine claimed broke into her home and assaulted her.
She said I kicked in the door.
And why is that a problem?
Because I'm in a wheelchair. And have been for 25 years.
Charles cannot move his legs. He's paraplegic following an accident when he was a teenager. Andrew Fleischman is Charles' attorney.
She describes that he's of average build,
Tall, short,
Average height.
that he has brown hair, that he's in black clothing,
so all black.
I want to say yes, sir.
but not that he's in a wheelchair. Never mentions it. And that is probably the number one thing you'd mention about somebody.
Especially as they're running away.
On foot.
I guess he took off on foot.
Charles and Catherine did date, but it was more than 20 years ago. They never kept in touch. He's been married for a decade with a newborn. And the day of the alleged attack, Charles says he was at a dinner party with friends.
Did police contact you at all?
No, not at all. Not a single time.
You didn't get a phone call?
Not a phone call.
You didn't get an email?
Not an email. Not a visit.
No one questioned you about this?
Nope.
No one questioned him. They just put a warrant out for his arrest. It wouldn't have taken a guy 500 years to kick that door down. Well, and this is the thing about it. Wait, if you were watching last night, whenever he shows up with the police, now think about this. This guy it's not just that he has no use of his legs. Where he got shot in the side, and it damaged his vertebrae. And imagine your whole body from about the top of your rib cage, or the midway on your rib cage down. He has no use of his body. Like if you see him sitting in the chair, he uses his arms to keep himself balanced, because he'll fall over. There's nothing there to keep him upright. Crack is a hell of a drug. Well, yeah, he got popped through a car. Like, just, yeah, it was really bad. With mechanical legs, maybe I don't even know. Then he would be he'd just wobble. I mean, that's why he got knocked out of the chair so easily. And he kept telling him, he was like, you can't just throw me in a car, take me down there, because I'll get bed sores. he has a special pillow that he has to sit on. Good morning, Nicholas. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good to see you. Hello, Nicholas Starro. Yeah, the visual, it's so bad.
9 months. Charles says he had no clue officers had a warrant out for his arrest for aggravated assault until the federal government alerted him when he tried to renew his passport.
Oh.
So he emailed Officer McKinley Boletti and set up a time to meet at the police department last month.
Yeah, and that interaction, I showed it last night. I showed it last night.
I finally go up there literally knowing absolutely nothing about it. I essentially surrendered myself because I was that innocent.
According to the body camera video, Officer Boletti questioned whether he was actually disabled.
Unfortunately, you do have the warrant out for your arrest, so I'm gonna have to place you into custody. Is this a joke?
Charles warned the officer putting handcuffs on would likely make him fall because of his paralysis.
I'm sitting there literally exactly like this in my chair, and so he handcuffs me, and I'm like, hey, like, just FYI, like, I can't move.
I literally can't. I don't have muscle control.
It's too late.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And
I could have broken my hip and died.
So yeah, and he's thinking, he's sitting there saying, the $1 million taser shot. That's about right. I'm so glad it wasn't a high-speed chase involved. Get out of the car with your hands up. I literally can't. I will sit here, but I can't. Oh my God. Yeah, you don't realize how bad he is. Good morning, Killdozer. Yeah, and so, you know, you understand that he's balancing himself there, and he goes, I just barely touched him and he fell over. Yeah, because he can't move. You've taken away his ability to stop himself from falling over.
Like, very quickly.
How did they respond?
They literally sat there and just watched me writhe on the ground.
The officer still didn't believe Charles was disabled. Neither did his supervisor, who never put his eyes on Charles before saying this.
It's a ruse, man. So, I mean, it's an obvious attempt to not to go to jail. So
A fellow officer disagreed.
Yeah.
I would call the district attorney's office, because if the door was kicked in, he didn't kick it in.
Finally, Officer Boletti admits he could be wrong.
Because now it's looking like she might have made a false report.
He started to hurt me about March of this year, and
A year before Catherine claimed Charles assaulted her, the Noonan Police Department, about 30 miles away, arrested her for theft and forgery after allegedly filing a false police report claiming someone stole from her. Fleischman says officers have access to a state database identifying prior arrests, but Officer Boletti never mentions Catherine's arrest record in the incident report.
I've never seen a case where somebody was so clearly innocent and it would take so little work to establish it, and nobody was going to do the work.
it was a tumultuous relationship.
According to this email obtained by Charles' attorney, Catherine wrote to a College Park police detective this week asking to change her statement, writing, "My mental state and physical trauma in that moment worked to confuse me."
What? What? Yes, the major was too busy stuffing his face to be bothered. He said, let me just go ahead and just pile this thing in instead of actually going out and putting eyes on the guy. I mean, you know, you've got this other officer that's like, listen, I don't think this guy is faking it. I mean, I know somebody that's paralyzed, and this is not good. This is not good.
Please contact me at your convenience so I can edit the information in the report and clear the name of an innocent man.
You think? Jeez. Oh, see, this is just randomly accusing somebody, and apparently 20 plus years ago, she went on a date with him once and kept that in mind, that he must have made such an impression on her that she kept that in her head.
How's this impacted you?
Well, I haven't been able to leave my house in a meaningful way in 2 or 3 months. just out of fear that I'll be picked up for an arrest warrant.
Has the police department apologized?
Not a single bit. Haven't heard a word from them. In fact, we've been trying to get into communication with them repeatedly, both me and my lawyer.
Because ultimately, that's all we're asking for, just to be adults. Take responsibility when you make a mistake and try to fix it.
College Park police did not respond to repeated requests for comment about this case. We reached out to Catherine Jensen. She also did not respond, but her mother says she now acknowledges Charles did not attack her. Catherine has not been charged in this case. Charles' attorney says the DA's office plans to drop his charges. Andy Parati, Atlanta News First, investigates.
The DA plans to drop the charges. Oh. The Metro Atlanta Police Department is under scrutiny after arresting a man for violent home invasion despite evidence casting doubt he could have even committed the crime. Charles Reed has been paralyzed for 25 years. He said he and Catherine Jensen dated at one time, but haven't had contact with each other for over 20 years. But according to a June 15, 2024 complaint, Jensen told College Park police that Reed broke into her home, choked her, and then fled on foot. Reed denies the allegation, saying it's not physically possible for him to do that, which she claimed he did. She said, I kicked in the door. I'm in a wheelchair and have been for 25 years. Body cam footage shows Catherine telling police his name, date of birth, describing him as medium height and wearing all black. She never mentioned he was in a wheelchair, said Fleischman, Reed's attorney. It's probably the number one thing you'd mention about somebody, especially if they're running away on foot. Reed was arrested on March 20th, 2025. He said College Park officers never called, questioned, or verified Jensen's claims before charging him with aggravated assault. Reed said he was at a dinner party with friends the night of the alleged incident. For 9 months, he had no idea there was a warrant for his arrest. He only learned of it when the federal government alerted him during a passport renewal process. So he was going in to get his passport, and that's how they found out about it. Reed then contacted College Park police officer Markinley Bollett, who originally responded to Jensen's home and agreed to meet at the police department this past March. I essentially surrendered myself because I was the innocent. When he arrived at the police station, he was questioned, then arrested in the lobby. Bollett is seen on body cam video placing cuffs on Reed. Despite his protest, it could cause him to fall. Moments later, Reed collapses out of his wheelchair. Officers literally sat there. They just watched me writhe on the ground. At one point, a supervising officer is heard saying, it's a ruse, man. I'm out of his tent not to go to jail. But another officer pushed back. You may want to call the district attorney's office because if the door was kicked in, he didn't kick it in. He says he could have broken his hip, died very quickly, said Reed. Body camera video later showed Bollett acknowledging doubts about Jensen's story. Now it's looking like she made a false report, he said on camera. Whew. I've never seen a case where somebody was so clearly innocent it would take so little work to establish it. Nobody was willing to do the work, Flashman said. An email sent to College Park detective this week, Jensen wrote, my mental state, physical trauma in that moment worked to confuse me. Please contact me so I can edit the information in the report and clear the name of an innocent man. Good job, Miss Jensen. Smaller world, Killdozer. Tried to set her up with patients. No, we would never do that. I hope she sued. Oh yeah, definitely. And that's what they're trying to do is they're just trying to get more information here. So this happened, as of April 11th, 2025, after this investigation aired, a representative from College Park confirmed the DA has dropped the charges against Reed. But that's it. That's as far as it's gone right there. All I can think of is the Big Lebowski. I know. Bob sledding to an early grave. Oh my gosh. Good morning. How you doing? Chat greets from Belgium. Heroes Painting Corner. Well, thank you. Welcome. And there are some more interesting stories we have, like this right here. Estonian supermarket has a giant rock in the middle of it. And I'm not even going to try to pronounce some of these names, so forgive me. So in the Vimsi shopping center at the Estonian town of Habenim is famous for having a giant boulder square in the middle of it. There are many things one expects to find in a supermarket, but a giant rock is definitely not one of them. And yet, in one Estonian supermarket, a giant rock with a circumference of 22 meters and a height of roughly 6 meters, including the part buried in the ground, is one of the highlights of most people's shopping trips. The rock has been there long before the owners of the shopping center drew up plans for their business venture, about 10,000 years to be more precise. But they only discovered it when digging the foundation September of 2014. Workers initially intended to blow it into smithereens, but the locals opposed the plans. It was later discovered that the giant boulder was actually an erratic boulder, eligible for conservation status. Could you imagine? Oh my gosh. Let's read more on this. That is so hilarious. Okay, that's Oddity Central's Facebook page. So weird. All right. So, I don't know what's up with that, but that is so crazy. But did you know in Japan, you can rent a grandma for $23 an hour. Ever wish you could talk to someone more experienced about your problems or have them prepare you a delicious home-cooked meal? Well, that's what's in Japan's OK Grandma Services for. Client Services is a Japanese company that specializes in a wide variety of convenience services, from cleaning and housing services to childcare and pet sitting services. However, there's a unique service that really gets people talking about them. These guys can have someone attend events on your behalf, apologize on your behalf, and even quit your job so you don't have to deal with the awkwardness of the situation. One of the most popular offerings is the OK Grandma service, which allows anyone to rent a female senior between the ages of 60 and 94 for a base fee of about 3,300 yen per hour. OK Grandma, aka OK Opachan, was launched in 2012, 2 years after the founding Client Services. It's still one of the company's most popular services. The more than 100 seniors employed by Client Services have rich life experiences and passions and believe that they still have a lot to contribute to society, from interpersonal skills to cooking or simply offering company to someone in need. The merit of age is the ability to remain unfazed by small things. The OK Grandma official page reads, their consideration for those who need it most, and while they may lack the physical strength and agility of their younger counterparts, their housework and child-rearing skills honed over the years of being a housewife, their communication skills honed through relationships with neighbors and relatives, their rich life experience, having endured the good and the bad, and their friendly, warm presence are all irreplaceable strengths. With so many grandmothers to choose from, clients need only specify their needs, and Client Services will provide them with the right candidate. Some Japanese grannies have veritable chefs when it comes to traditional recipes. Others are expert house cleaners or babysitters, and some have beautiful handwriting. But you don't need to have a special skill to be a good fit for OK Grandma if you have the patience to listen and offer advice in a matter of your heart, or give younger people a more experienced perspective. You have plenty of value. I want to break up with my boyfriend, but I can't tell him clearly, so I want my grandmother to come with me, said one OK Grandma client. That's so wrong. I don't have enough relatives for my wedding, so I want you to attend as a family member. Another person motivated their choice to rent a grandma. To rent a grandmother, clients have to pay about $23 base fee plus any transportation fees, and are responsible for the granny's necessary expenses during the time they spend together. Japan is no stranger to unusual people renting services. In the past, we featured Osan Rental, a service that will let anyone rent a middle-aged guy. Dubakari, a service that rented out fat people by the hour. Wakasari, a service designed to ruin people's romantic relationships, be they marriages or affair, for a fee. It's that they've fallen and they can't get up. An erotic boulder, exactly. Exactly, an erotic boulder. Might as well have one right in the middle of your restaurant, in the middle of your supermarket. What the hell is an erratic boulder? I don't know. I was trying to figure that out. It's so weird to me. An erratic boulder. I couldn't find any more on it. It just sent me to like some weird page. Okay, here we go. I found it. It says, and erratic boulders are rocks that have been carved out by glaciers, carried to another location by the glacier over a long period of time, and left behind when the glacier melted. They often have different composition than local rocks, providing valuable geological clues about glaciers, past ice ages. Estonia is home to countless erratic rocks, but the one in the middle of the Vimsi shopping center is believed to have ended up there at least 10,000 years ago, around the time the last ice age ended. It's outrageous to destroy such a precious rock, the people of Haberbeam said in unison when workers decided to blow up the giant boulder. And its once erratic nature was confirmed by geologists. Developers had no choice but to change their plans. Finding another location for the shopping center wasn't a viable option, as the company had already invested a lot of money into the project, so it was decided to build around the giant rock. The Vimsi shopping center first opened a decade ago. The boulder stood out like a sore thumb, but over the years, people got used to it, and the supermarket housing came up with various ways of making it blend in more, such as using it as a display for artworks. So there you go. That's what they've done. That's an erratic rock. It got moved there by a glacier 10,000 years ago. I charge $25 an hour to be a granny. I like that. Somebody should do that. What happens if they fall and they can't get up? Well, I guess the money's off then. That's what I'm thinking. But they also rent out fat people, which is even funnier. I love that. Maybe one can burn my grandmother's oatmeal cookie recipe. I hope the boulder isn't in a wheelchair. It would involve the police. Well, they'd just knock it over anyway. Rock is questioning his life on how the F did I end up here? 10,000 years I've been sitting here in the middle of this rat hole, this damn grocery store, and I can't get any food, no service. People always touching me. Like this criminal, he escaped prison by hiding in a released inmate's luggage. A young inmate recently managed to escape prison in Lyon, France, by taking advantage of a fellow inmate's release, hiding in their luggage and waiting to be carried out of the maximum security facility. The escape of the 20-year-old Elisied A. from Lyon Corbus prison last Friday made national headlines all weekend, bringing into question both the prison security system and its notorious overcrowding. But what really caught the public's attention was the manner in which the young inmate, who was serving several prison sentences for crimes connected to organized crime, managed to effortlessly leave the maximum security prison. According to inside sources cited by French media, the daring escape was made possible by the release of a fellow inmate who simply carried Elisied out the front gate of the facility to a car waiting for him. It took the guards 24 hours to realize he was even missing. This is an extremely rare event that we have never experienced in this administration, which clearly reveals the whole series of serious dysfunctions, the director of France's prison administration told the press, acknowledging an accumulation of errors. There's so many errors, we can't even tell you all of them. Although the full details of Elisied A's prison break have not been made public, inside sources have revealed the young inmate hid in a visiting bag, a large canvas sack used by inmates to carry their belongings upon release. For some reason, the released prisoner large bag didn't attract the guards' attention, neither did the fact that they requested a cart to roll his heavy bag to the car waiting for him. No, sir, let me help you with that. 24 hours after Elisied A's escape, French authorities launched a nationwide manhunt that ended up with his arrest earlier today. The 20-year-old escapee was apprehended while exiting a cellar in Saint-Denis Camp, north of Lyon, about 25 miles by car from Corbus prison. His alleged accomplice, who now risks returning to prison despite having already served his time, was not with him and is still being hunted by police. Back in 2017, we covered a similar story of a Venezuelan woman who tried smuggling her inmate boyfriend out of prison in a suitcase. Unlike Elisied's attempt, theirs failed, but they attracted international attention. Good morning, beautiful people. It was all in the sack. Was he a bag full of white flags? Might have been. Oh, pronounced Leon. Leon. Okay, thank you, MD. I have no idea. Leon, thank you. Leon, it's not Lion, it's Leon. I'm starting a new business. I will be your wise ass curmudgeon for a mere $20 an hour. You too can hire me to be a pain in your ass. I'll tell you, get off my lawn and things like that. Man. Love it. I love it. All right, we're gonna take a quick coffee break, and we will be right back. So bear with it. We'll see you in about 3 minutes or so. Go grab some coffee, relieve yourself, do whatever you need to do, and we'll be right back.
Sandy shores, get a tan, Rambo the orangutan. Driving a golf cart, oh man, Rambo is half crazy, yes he can. Well, that SOB's a sight to F and see. Oh, Rambo's rolling, as the sun he's free at last. While Shizzy has his coffee, these two are having an effing blast. Whoa, Rambo's rolling, as the sun he's free at last. While Shizzy has his coffee, these two are having an effing blast. Shizzy on the dunes, coffee in hand. Rambo is a loon, and Shizzy is, well, that is too dirty to say here. Shizzy on the dunes, coffee in hand. Rambo is a loon, and Shizzy is that is too dirty to say here, Oh, Rambo's rolling, as the sun he's free at last. While Shizzy has his coffee, these two are having an effing blast. Otters in the surf, hummingbirds in the sky. Rambo honks the horn and spits in Shizzy's eye. Oh my! Oh, Rambo's rolling, as the sun he's free at last. While Shizzy has his coffee, these two are having an effing blast. Oh, Rambo's rolling. Rambo takes a turn, driving to the wave. Otters wave their paws, telling Rambo, not sure, but if you could understand, Otter, it probably wasn't nice. Rambo takes a turn, driving to the waves. Otters wave their paws, telling Rambo, not sure, but if you could understand, Otter, it probably wasn't nice. Oh, Rambo's rolling, as the sun he's free at last. While Shizzy has his coffee, these two are having a effing blast. So here's to Rambo, otters and hummingbirds by the edge of the ocean. And Shizzy, well, he might just be there too. Well, here's to Rambo, otters and hummingbirds by the edge of the ocean. And Shizzy, well, he might just be there too.
Oh, yeah. Welcome back. My grandmother's cookies could be mistaken for asphalt chunks. That's bad. That's really bad. You know what it is. Those cookies, she cooks the sugar too long. That's what they're supposed to be nice and gooey. I wonder if Granny could pull landscaping duty. She'll pull your weeds, that's for damn sure. Shizzy just saw a new video of gorilla fishing with his ding dong. That's bad. That's so bad. Why would he be doing that? I haven't heard that one in a while. Oh, I know. It's been a while, Wes. It has been a while. But think about this. A 50-year-old man elopes with son's fiance, takes family jewels and savings. A 55-year-old grandfather of 3 stands accused of eloping with the 22-year-old fiance of his teenage son and taking his family savings and gold jewelry with him. They say the heart wants what it wants. In the case of an old Indian man, if this happens to be his son's fiance, well, then so be it. Shakil, the 55-year-old father of 6 from Rampur, a village in India's Uttar Pradesh state, recently shocked his family by running away with Aisha, a 22-year-old woman from a neighboring village who was initially supposed to marry his son. According to Shabana, Shakil's wife, he had insisted on arranging the marriage of their son, Aman, pseudonym, to Aisha, despite her protest concerning financial reasons in the child's young age, 17. Still, despite Shabana and Aman's opposition, he remained adamant about the marriage until one day he called from Delhi to tell his family that he had married Aisha himself. The woman who was supposed to be my daughter-in-law has now become my husband's wife, Shabana lamented in an interview with Indian journalists. Shakil reportedly visited Aisha, often under the pretext of making wedding preparations, but his wife's claims to have suspected their affair from the very beginning. However, when he confronted her husband about it, he allegedly responded with verbal and even physical abuse. Still, the woman continued gathering evidence, and when he showed the Aman text between Shakil and Aisha, the 17-year-old told his father that the wedding was off. Last month, after leaving Delhi on a work-related business, the 55-year-old called his family to let him know that he had married Aisha, his son's fiancée. What he didn't tell them was that he had taken the family savings, more than 200,000 rupees or $2,400, and jewelry as well. Theft carries a potential sentence of up to 3 years behind bars, but the local police told the Times of India newspaper that no formal complaint has been filed, so they couldn't take any action against Shakil. Interestingly, just a couple of months ago, we featured a similar story of an Indian man who eloped with his soon-to-be mother-in-law just 9 days before he was supposed to marry her daughter. You know what they say? All is fair in love and war. That kills me. That kills me. Shizzy! Boosh McFadden, how are you, fine sir? I hope you're doing well. Couldn't Shaq sink a free throw to save his life? I don't know. The family jewels needs the blue pills. That's right. Holy oatmeal, as she called it. Boiling the hell out of it was my term. Holy oatmeal, I called it. Boiling the hell out of it. Yeah, exactly. That's what you're not supposed to do, because whenever the sugar crystallizes, it turns rock damn hard. It's like rock candy, and then you try to bite into that cookie. Ooh, no. You should get a what do you call it? A kitchen thermometer, that you use in cookies, not cookies, but you dip it in and I can't remember the name of it, but you use it on the pan and you dip it in there, and here's the thing. My grandmother would make what people call, basically it was what she called a fudge brownie. Okay. Now, if you've ever had a fudge brownie, you know how they're sort of gooey and stuff like that. Well, my grandmother's were almost like confectioners, not confectioners, almost like what you'd find on like a cake. She cut them really thick too. But these things, because the way that she made them, you bite into it and it would just melt in your mouth. I mean, it would just it was like almost pure sugar that would just melt in your mouth. They weren't hard. They were actually quite soft and they never turned gooey. But those things were hard. You bite into them, it was like eating a chocolate cake. I started cooking in self-defense. Oh yeah. Hey, boosh. It says, "Hell no chat." So we've got this story out of from the PJ Media. If you want, you can always go to PJ Media, and they do have pretty good stories in here. Taxidermy, amputation, and the spirit of Wisconsin weird. A few years ago, Wisconsin makes national headlines not for the Packers, cheese, and snowmobile races, but for some form of a story so strange, so dark that the rest of America quietly sets their brat down and stares this month, and it happened again. Durand, a quiet riverside town nestled in western Wisconsin and minutes away from the confluence of the Chippewa and Mississippi rivers, is now on the map for something other than trout fishing. This time it's become because a nurse amputated a dying man's foot without a doctor's order and planned to put it on display in her family's taxidermy shop. No, this isn't satire. No, it's not a Netflix pitch. It's real. It's documented, and it happened just 200 miles from Plainfield, the hometown of Ed Gein, inspiration for Psycho, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Silence of the Lambs. What's in the water here? Just another day in Dairyland Twilight Zone. Mary Brown was a hospice nurse who was to help people approach the dignity of death with the twisted brain. In 2022, she decided to amputate the frostbitten foot from a 62-year-old man without medical authorization. The man's prognosis was terminal, and he was in and out of consciousness. Brown had plans to use the foot as an educational tool in her family's taxidermy shop with a sign saying, "Wear your boots, kids." No, you can't make this stuff up. Open and shut case, you'd think. She should be a guest in prison, right? Wrong. From the New York Post, she was initially charged with intentionally causing great bodily harm and mayhem and physically abusing an elder person, but the felonies, which could have carried a maximum sentence of 40 years in prison, were dismissed after pleading guilty to lesser charges. Well, guess what? She walked. The Wisconsin nurse who amputated a patient's frostbitten foot without authorization and planned to use it as a ghoulish display in her family's taxidermy shop was given a sweetheart plea deal in which she would serve no time in prison and pay just $443 in court costs. Wouldn't you think the HR department would have a rule? In addition to probation and a fine, she is no longer permitted to work as a nurse. Now, Brown is no Ed Gein. She didn't rob graves or wear faces, but the cultural through line is hard to ignore. Just over 3 hours southeast of Durand sits Plainfield, where Ed Gein's crime shattered the post-war illusion of Midwest normalcy. Gein dismembered corpses, decorated his home with bones, and carved human skin into household objects. He wasn't just disturbed. He was an Americana's first boogeyman. And here we are, nearly 70 years later, and the echoes continue. We don't celebrate this stuff, but we can't deny it either. Wisconsin has a history of producing the kind of horror that feels a little too bizarre to be real. From Jeffrey Dahmer's Milwaukee apartment to Gein's farmhouse and now taxidermy foot, it's clear that when Wisconsin goes dark, it doesn't just go dark, it brings props. Now, a justice system is more bizarre than the crime. Brown didn't just commit the act outside the bounds of medical ethics. She violated the trust between the caretaker and the patient. The patient's family never consented. The man never gave permission, but somehow, after a 2-year legal process, she was spared jail time. The judge claimed she had lost her career and suffered enough. Imagine saying that about anyone else who removed a body part without consent. Gang member. Corrupt doctor, mortician running a side hustle. Would they walk? Well, of course not. But Brown had the good fortune of committing her crime under the flag of rural America, where crimes against the poor and terminally ill often fall through the cracks. And now she walks free, while the man she dismembered is buried without a foot. Just 1 foot less. When satire becomes documentary, you can't write the satire about Wisconsin. You just describe it. Where else could someone remove a human limb, plan to mount it next to a deer's antlers, and receive a lighter sentence than someone caught with an ounce of weed in Milwaukee? Where else could local culture shrug and say, well, that's messed up, and then go back to tending bar or shooting darts? There's something undeniably Midwest about it. The combination of politeness, absurdity, and dark humor that makes a human foot in a freezer feel like just another day at the shop. Final thoughts. Wisconsin doesn't just have a true crime history. It has a true crime personality. It wears it like a flannel. Maybe it's our long winters. There's something chillingly casual about how the most unspeakable events happen in barns, basements, and backwoods clinics just off the state highways. We don't mean to be bizarre. We just lean into it when it shows up. So yes, Durand is now forever marked not by war, not by storm, but by a nurse with a hacksaw and a twisted sense of decor. And somewhere out there is the haunting legacy of Ed Gein, Jeffrey Dahmer, and 1,000 unsolved backwoods crimes. Wisconsin keeps quietly asking the same questions. She thought this was okay? Judge should say, you had control at the hospital, but the shoe is on the other foot now. And that was written by David Manny, a writer and thinker passionate about truth, clarity, and challenging systems that fail those who claim and serve. He brings a sharp eye, steady voice, and a deep sense of purpose to everything he creates. And you too can find that at PJ Media. It's awesome. I hate what they mean. What was that? I hate what they mean by subs by the foot. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, it's a foot long sub. Well, it depends on how big your feet are. But speaking of weird and unusual things, food stamp TikTok influencers run amok. Ask not what you can do for your country, but how much food stamp cash you can wring out of your local welfare office and make social media content at Walmart. American proverb. I was recently introduced to the monogamous X algorithm, which I'm very well aware feeds me red meat designed to titillate and boost engagement so advertisers can make more money, but which I continue to engage with anyway because expert psychologists designed the app to generate maximum addiction via outrage porn. To a video of an overweight BIPOC woman and her multiple children dancing in a supermarket with hands full of boxes, processed food, and will inevitably give them diabetes, further draining the public treasury with Medicaid expenses. With our 3,000 in EBD hit that card, reads the caption referencing the government subsidy of groceries commonly known as food stamps. And I'm not gonna, I can probably show it, but they're excited because they got their food stamps. And instead of just taking the government's largeness and going about her business with some modicum of shame, she taunts the American taxpayer with outrageous clickbait. So this is how they feel about you whenever they get it. Give me just a second. I'm gonna do this just for a second because I don't want to. Yeah, it's got music. So this is how they acted whenever they got those food stamps. Yeah, this is how they acted. Yeah. Doesn't that just make you feel good about your tax dollars going to this right here? So they can get views and clicks and likes. $3,000 a month in food stamps is what they receive. Hey, you have a wonderful day at work. Good to see you, Melly. And be safe out there. And instead of taking government largesse out in business and doing this they gave you this clickbait. Here she describes it. She has a food stamp plug being urban slang for a connection to something illicit, who works in the welfare office and who hooks her up with that $3,000 in monthly food stamps for her and her 7 children with 7 different baby daddies, another urban term for fathers of children born out of wedlock. And as a side note, she appears to be wearing scrubs, suggesting she works in some kind of healthcare setting, which both shocks the conscious and begs the question, how are you getting $3,000 in food stamps if you have a job? The particularly cringe TikTok trend, welfare recipients paradising their free government cheese on social media, has been going on for quite some time. Newsweek reported on an incident that ginned up some controversy back in 2021. In the video overlaid with the caption, when I realized I had over 2,000 on food stamp card in some woke pop song parody of the national anthem, a coof-based BIPOC individuals collected various items at the supermarket, flashing them at the camera stand at opportune times to concede with the lyrics free in the national anthem knockoff. I dare say it's quite nauseating to people who pay taxes, as I am forced to, even though I haven't stepped foot in the United States since 2016 and used no government services. These people are just begging to get doged. It's enough to make one revisit the merits of social Darwinism. Yeah, 3,000, Jesus. Yeah. 7 kids, 3,000. That would be a small amount. Could you imagine? I have to beg, and I got $20 a month. Exactly. That's usually the way it goes. I mean, I do remember the actual food stamps. That's the thing. Okay, bastards. Yes. Yeah, I had a bag and got $20 a month. Yeah, I mean, I remember back as a young'un after the parents' divorce, where I, showing up with the government cheese. If you don't know what it is, it would be this big box that would come in, and it would have a block of not even like American cheese. It was like some sort of processed cheese that you had to make last for a month. Grilled cheese sandwiches were abound. Trust me, I ate many a grilled cheese sandwiches. It wasn't bad. It wasn't like it was bad cheese or anything. There was just a big block of it. It was probably smaller than I imagined, in my small hands. But yes, it was quite a bit of food stamps going down, and government cheese made the best mac and cheese fodder. Oh yeah. I mean, my mother, kudos to her for figuring out different ways to make food last and, feed a family of, at that time, feed a family of family of five, using that with very little assistance from the father. So I mean, just imagine that. You're like, oh my gosh, the kind of stuff that we ate may have not been all that good, but I don't remember sitting around and having Cokes and sugary snacks and snacks of any sort, really. I think about the biggest snack we had was popcorn. That was all. It wasn't like the Jiffy Pop or anything like that. It was like you throw some oil in a pan and you throw some popcorn in there and you get it mixing until it starts exploding. I think it smelled and tasted wangy. Yeah. Yeah. My mom got food stamps when my father left and paid no child support. My mom refused to use them because none of us would go shopping with her because we were embarrassed. Yeah. And that was sort of the shame of it. My mother was the youngest of 14. She's now the oldest of 14. That does happen. Oh my gosh. So we got this next story right here. The West Coast Mess Coast ICE is Gestapo sent by the little mustached artist. To the West Coast Mess Coast report, where this week your humble correspondent will take a look at how the Democrats are desperately clinging to their slaves for the second time in American history, and how they won't be able to find their political G-spot unless there's blood in the streets, preferably the blood of an ICE officer. As this week's top story points out, they nearly succeeded in California when the news media pointed out a protester fired at ICE officers in the streets. Another California city votes to use taxpayer money to send DoorDash-like meals to known illegal aliens. Wow, who's cheering on the violence? The Democrats have made encouraging insurrections against the Border Patrol and ICE officers with their strategic communications message, leading to what many hope is electoral success in 2026. ICE is the Gestapo sent by the little mustached man. The West Coast Mess Coast politicians flew their freak flags by calling for open rebellion against the immigration and custom enforcement officers. Washington Pramila J. Powell called it inspired to obstruct immigration enforcement. She dismissed border law enforcers as deranged. Washington state Democrats called for official insurrection, calling on illegal aliens to resist any cooperation that enables ICE to carry out its raids. The entire San Diego, Karen Bass is a new low when she demonstrated this week that she cares more about ICE running an operation against cartels rather than cartels themselves. And the entire San Diego congressional delegation decried the ICE raids, calling them cruel. None of this collection of Democrats acknowledged that it's cruel to put the burden on supporting these illegal aliens is cruel, nor did they say that the cruel that Americans franchise their votes have been diluted because of the census apportionment scam. The unknown U.S. Senator Alex Padilla, Dillweed, told Kerry Pickett of the Washington Times that he didn't feel the least bit responsible for violence against ICE or riots by illegals that Democrats condoned, ignoring the fact that ICE isn't required to possess warrants to kick out criminal aliens, but are getting them anyway. The man named to Kamala Harris's seat because this was his turn lied. It would be helpful the way that Trump administration tried to enforce immigration law, respect due process, civil liberties, and that Asians would identify themselves as law enforcement. Well, Gavin Newsom played hype man for the LOFO set by claiming immigration actions took a wrecking ball to our founding fathers' historic project to warn that democracy is under assault before our eyes. You're welcome to your opinions, morons, but please stop lying that American people to foment hate. Newsom typically didn't apply the same standard to people breaking the law to come to this country, and his political party's release of millions of complete strangers into the country. If Americans are serious about controlling the flow of illegal aliens into the country, take away the Democrats' rigged consensus scam that apportions congressional representation to non-citizens. This behavior by the Democrats who othered and characterized Donald Trump for years as a foreign spy. Democrats have increased the threats of overt lies as the violence grows. Stop the violence. ICE has to be stopped by any means. Take to the streets. Also, accept no responsibility for any violence that happens. Democrats, yeah, media, and it's not all Democrats. It's just there's a certain vocal group that believes that, oh, we shouldn't be deporting these people out of here. I just don't really understand that. I really don't understand that. That makes not a damn bit of sense to me. Oh, that's pretty interesting. Sweden's unique cheese-infused coffee. There's nothing strange about adding a bit of milk or cream to a cup of coffee, but in northern Sweden, they prefer a different kind of dairy with their coffee. Cheese. And I'm going to say kaffeost, I'm probably saying it wrong because I'm not Swedish. I don't know how these words are pronounced. Is a combination of hot coffee and a particular type of cheese called something. It looks like lip adjusta. It's a lip adjusta, which loosely translates to bread cheese, but there's no bread involved in this unusual combination, just cheese and coffee. The name most likely comes from the cheese absorbent quality, which allows it to take on a surprising amount of coffee flavor after soaking for only a few minutes. The spongy texture may not be for everybody, but the taste is said to be more than worth it. Well, lip adjusto is noticeably sweeter than your average block of cheddar, so adding a few pieces to your cup of coffee is surprisingly similar to adding cream or milk and sugar to it. Consuming kaffeost has deep cultural roots among the reindeer herders of northern Sweden and Finland. It's said that the semi-nomadic Sami people discovered the delicious combination of coffee and cheese during their travels. They noticed that kaffeost helped solve their sodium deficiency problems, while the hot coffee kept them warm and gave them the needed energy to journey through the cold. Coffee and cheese may not sound like a match made in heaven for most people, but in Scandinavia, the popularity of kaffeost is on the rise. Specialty coffee shops are increasingly offering kaffeost along the variations. They use cow milk or goat cheese along the traditional reindeer milk lepagesto. Last month, the EU granted protected designation of origin status to kaffeost as the initiative of local cheese makers who wanted to preserve a piece of their food heritage and hopefully attract curious coffee lovers to their region. Bubba gets to go home, and so do I. Also, Debbie, we have to be in a wheelchair to get arrested. Bobsledding to an early grave. Gavin was getting 10 grand in donations, from just one pot growers. Oh yeah, and he never shut down his vineyard. The hospital was good, but the surgery was real painful. Yeah, that happens. I had an uncle who put a pat of butter in his coffee. In the Midwest, we like cheese with our cheese. Well, like a real cheese sandwich, there is no bread. It's just cheese. Lots of cheese. Oh my gosh. You guys are killing me. Oh my. What time is it? I'm making sure that I don't run it too late this morning because I've got somebody showing up in a period of time. Like I said, this week is going to be probably one of the craziest weeks. The next couple of weeks are going to be really crazy for me. So you may not see me after tonight for a few days, but I should be and that's if I do a stream tonight. It all depends. It really does, because there's been, like I said, a lot of stuff I've been busy with trying to get taken care of, and hopefully I can get time to do a stream tonight. That is the plan. That is the plan. You had an uncle that would put about it, and this reminded me whenever you put that up there. Now, my wife and I went to, what is it, Maine? Now, if you don't know, because you're not from the United States, but Maine is known for its lobster. Like it's got lots of lobster. Everywhere you go, there's going to be lobster places. Like if you come down to certain places here, you'll have like shrimp, and you'll have, crab, things like that. Like you'll have crab broils and things like that. But in Maine, its main thing is lobster. Now, if you've never had lobster, which it tends to be a little bit more expensive, and it's a very rich dish, if that makes sense. But what they use is they'll use like a butter dipping sauce, probably with like a little lemon in it. But usually there's going to be some sort of butter dipping sauce, and you dip it in there, and it's supposed to enhance the flavor and everything. Lobster isn't really my favorite, but it's good. Well, that's where I'm getting to it. Mud bugs, exactly. Sea roaches. So I found something else out about lobsters. I'll tell you here in a bit. So my wife and I go, and she was like, she goes, so what do you want to do? I was like, well, why don't we just do like a surf and turf? They had like a steak and a lobster thing. I was just like, that sounds good to me. It wasn't very expensive, because you're getting it pretty damn fresh. And so this lobster comes out, and this steak comes out, and it's got what I could basically describe as a scoop of ice cream on top of it. The only thing is it was not a scoop of ice cream. Now, you've seen what a scoop of ice cream looks like. It's this big chunk of, ice cream. No, it was butter. It was a big hunking cheese piece of butter. And I thought it was like some sort of like sour cream or something like that. And so I cut into that and took a bite, and it was immediately like eating. It was like drinking a vat of butter, whipped butter. Exactly, Boosh. It was whipped butter. Oh my God. It was too much for me. Lobster a la mode, lobster bisque. I mean, we had a great time. I think that was for like my 40th birthday or something like that. No, Maine was absolutely wonderful. We went, when was that? I think it was in the fall, and they said that they had record highs of, it was somewhere in the hundreds easily for almost the whole summer. And we got there, and it was very cold, especially at night. And they didn't have any hotels where we stayed at. There was no hotels. So the only place that you could stay would be at an Airbnb. I mean, they had lots of Airbnbs, but they didn't have any hotels. It was the wildest thing, the place that we stayed. It was beautiful. Oh no, it was absolutely beautiful. So another thing that they have, because we were along the coast, and the car that we got was trashy. It had broken control arms. That thing was all over the damn road driving it. And I think they took it off road or something. Plus the roads are not that great. I mean, they're okay, but compared to other places I've been, the roads we were on, of course, we were driving basically along the coast. I've never been harassed so much in an airport as I was in Maine. Could be the tattoos. So we go up to this place, and it is, we could go down to basically the beach, which it really wasn't a beach. It was more like cliffs that overlook the water, the ocean. And so we go down there, and we're walking along, and my wife keeps seeing these little things that look like tomatoes. I mean, they're about yay big. And she was just like, that's a lot of tomatoes. I'm surprised nobody's picked those tomatoes. I was like, I don't think those are tomatoes, but I don't know what they are, because they're sitting really low to the ground, like thousands of them everywhere. And my wife like picks pulls one off and cuts it open, and she was just like, it looked like it was some sort of flower. And she goes, I don't know what the hell, it had like seeds in it. She was like, I don't think that's a tomato. I was like, I told you I don't think it's a tomato. Like, I don't know what it is. And so we end up walking by this guy, and she goes, what are these little balls that I keep seeing everywhere? And the guy looks at her like she's an absolute idiot. He goes, there's roses. I wasn't going to ask the guy. She just walks up to this random stranger and goes, what are these little balls? And he was like, them's roses. Like, are you an idiot? Those are roses. Up in Dover. I've been to Dover. Cliffs like in Dover. Cliffs like in Dover. No. Yeah, it was. So I was going to tell you about the lobster. I didn't know this. As lobsters get older, their meat becomes foul. Like it can poison you and make you really, really sick. So that's why you don't, people think, oh, I got this big, huge lobster. That's going to be a lot of meat. You shouldn't eat that meat because it'll make you sick. Yeah. Rose hips. Exactly. Are you serious? Yeah, no, these we're not. Now we get those little rose things also. Yeah, rose hips. We get those also, but they're only about this big. These things were like this big. They looked like small tomatoes. I mean, they were red. They were pretty good circumference. Sorry, Shizzy, we're from Georgia. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So yeah, if you get lobster, don't get a really old lobster because it can make you really sick. We have them in Belgium too. Yeah. And it's just because of the weather. I mean, they end up looking much different. Like here in Georgia, roses don't do too well. I mean, you can still get roses, but where I'm at, you have to be very careful of the variety because they get the heat just destroys them. Like they do much better in cooler climates, much better. So just that's why. Oh my. What is that? I was looking to see if there was something else. I think that's it on that one. Oh my. Okay, that's done. I got that one. And I think that's it. I think that's just it for today. Okay. Maine lobster is better than Florida. Florida lobster. Now, I'm not going to go arguing over which lobster tastes better, whether it's from Maine or whether it's from Florida, or if you get better stuff in the Caribbean. I don't know which one it is. I couldn't tell you which one is better. Although I will say that there's you can get shrimp in Georgia. They're a little bit smaller and we did a story about that not too long ago where it was in South Carolina. Is that right? A little place in South Carolina or Florida. Maybe it was Florida, where basically they got in trouble for selling frozen shrimp that was not from the region, but telling people that was regional shrimp. Maybe that was South Carolina. Yeah, I think it was South Carolina. Your daughter loves yellow roses. Unfortunately, she bought a variety called Golden Shower. Oh, that's funny. Oh, yeah. It's people weren't thinking. Well, I guess they whenever they were called Golden Shower, they were a different fresh gray shrimp from the northern sea. Nice. My northern neighbor used to be a stone crabber. Yeah, I worked with a guy that was a lobster. I can't remember what they call it. There's this a trapper. I don't know. I don't know what it's called, but yeah, he used to catch lobster. He was originally from Maine. He looked like the fisherman off the what do you call that? The used to be the fish stick or something like that. Spiny lobster has better tail meat. Well, and also you've got now I do remember they have, and I can't remember the name of the fish off the top of my head, but down in Florida they do this every year where you go out and you capture these spiny fish. I think it's a tiger fish or something like that. But it's open season on them because they basically destroy the whole ecosystem in that area because of their ability. It doesn't have any predators. Like a shark isn't going to eat it. So and if you catch them, they'll like lionfish. Yeah. They'll actually catch those lionfish. Yeah. Yeah, they're invasive. Yeah, so they have open season on them, and if you bring them in, they'll actually prepare them for you. And it's supposed to be pretty good meat. So, my wife and we thought about doing that one year when we were vacationing in Florida. I think we were there in the fall. But the water was because I think we went to the Keys. That makes sense. Went to the Keys and they were just like, do you want to join in on the little thing? And basically they supply you with a trap and a thing to catch them with. And you just catch them and stuff them in the trap. They're delicious. They live off of shellfish. They are poisonous, I believe. I don't know if they might be poisonous. Lionfish topped with government cheese. That would be delicious. That would be delicious. Oh gosh, you guys are killing me. But they have to know how to cook. Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure that they do. That's one of the bad parts about it. You have to know exactly how to cook them. Oh my gosh, I can't believe we're finally done with that story. We're gonna have to dig into one of these stories that I haven't covered in a while. And I was hoping to do it last night. But we'll get it. Yeah, the Gordon's fisherman. Thank you. He looked like the Gordon's fisherman. Yeah, he had the full on beard, and especially when it would rain. The pufferfish fugu. Oh, yeah. They have poison spines, but they're safe to eat. Yeah, I think that's correct. And it's lionfish is perfectly safe to eat. Yeah, but the pufferfish is what'll get you. Yeah, it's got like a poisonous gland or something like that. Makes you puff up. I don't know what it does. I know that it's supposed to be deadly, but some people, they like to play, like with that guy. What was it? Monday. You put an eel in the exit. It's just like, what were you thinking, man? That eel just went right up in there and then punched a hole through his intestine. That's bad. That's bad. Yeah. I would much rather, eat my food than put it in places where it doesn't belong. Guys are killing me. Everybody, I want you to have a wonderful day. I'm going to be sending all you fine people over to, let's see who's happening today. Who's going on this morning? Who has been running the gambit? Looks like we got Mo in the deep end is live and on fire. So I'm going to send all you fine people over there. Go give her some love. Make sure that you hit the thumbs up on the way in, on the way out. Mo, of course, Mo. Mo's pretty damn awesome. Easier side than hamsters. I thought that said side, like a side dish. Have lobster with a side dish of hamsters. Sounds tasty, doesn't it? Just keep the hamsters out of my lobster. I understood what you were saying. I understood what you're saying now. Yes, everybody go see Mo in the deep end. Show her some love. Tell her how much you care. And have a wonderful day. And remember, be nice to one another because life is short. Peace.
Bless your heart. I thought I was the only mentally challenged one here.
rise and shine. Coffee's brewing, feeling fine. News is out and on the air. Shizzy Whiz nuts wild, but we don't care. Morning Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz nuts type of show. Let's go. Get a hit, yeah, oh yeah. Headlines spinning in the breeze. Stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java, wear a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz nuts start the show. Let's go. Get a hit, yeah, oh yeah. Headlines spinning in the breeze. Stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java, wear a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz nuts start the show. Let's go. Get a hit, yeah, oh yeah. Serious is overrated. Every day we're caffeinated. Talk the town, but in a jest. Morning Whiz is always best. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop.
Oh my god, Shizzy breaks Larry. Shizzy broke Larry.
Oh yeah.
Everybody show 'em